Good evening, everyone. I'm hoping my setup's, yes, my setup's good. Hello, welcome. Hope you're all having a great Sunday. It is Sunday everywhere in the world, right? Maybe not in Australia and New Zealand, but hope you're all doing well. Today we have a bit of a special one. Yeah, you can see it's the ANET 3D printer. It's the ANET ET4. So yeah, obviously you guys know ANET for being the manufacturer of the ANET A8, a printer that is so basic, so stripped down, so poorly constructed that, you know, it's best known for catching on fire spontaneously. So yeah, they don't have the best reputation, but apparently the current gen, the ET4 or ET5 are a bit better, and you know, that's what I want to find out today. This is basically ANET's response to the Ender 3. Like, this is same price bracket, same everything. Actually, let's do a quick look at what they're listing it as, because this is the ET4 Pro. Apparently, I guess it says ET4 in the box somewhere, but yeah, it actually says ET4 Pro over here on the label. Right there, so this is the ET4 Pro, and if we check out the website, there is not a whole lot of information on, you know, what the ET4 versus the ET4 Pro is. So that's the listing for the ET4, which is, by the way, $151. That is quite the offer there. From what I gather is they both have like all these features: auto bed leveling, power outage recovery, filament detection, automatic filament loading, quick assembly, etc., etc. But the difference is the stepper drivers. So the 2208 is exclusive to the Pro, while the non-Pro get the A4988, the standard stepper drivers. So this one should be fairly quiet. So let's dig in, but before that, and I've actually never tried that nope, not that. Before that, I've actually never tried that before, but this live stream is actually sponsored by someone, and that is JLC PCB. So let's get that sponsor message out of the way real quick. I have actually been ordering my project PCBs from JLC PCB. I've been very happy with the value that they're providing, and JLC PCB are not just, you know, a manufacturer of PCBs at super reasonable prices, starting at $2 plus shipping for 5 PCBs, but they also currently offer free SMT assembly, and they're running an online e-exhibition from November 10th with tons of prizes to win. Link to the event in the description. And that's that. I think the SMT assembly, if one of you have tried that, I think that is actually a really cool thing to try out. You don't just get the bare PCB, you get it populated. So, okay, let's just dig in. Yeah, I don't know, I've never done an integration on a live stream, but was that well done? I don't know. Cool, but yeah, you can see I've torn off the label. There are so many shipping labels on this printer. This one apparently has been shipped from China to Poland, from Poland to the Czech Republic, and then from the Czech Republic to me in Germany. So this printer has traveled the world, and I have already dropped this one quite hard. You can see over here on this side. Well, where it is there. When I did the thumbnail shouldering it, I kind of dropped it, and it kind of landed on the vise behind me. I hope it's okay. It should be okay, right? It's made it that far. Felino Faco, I think this is pre-recorded. Nah, why would it be a live stream when it's pre-recorded? It is not. Okay, here we go. Electrical works better than the CR6SE. There are apparently some people who have trouble with the power switch on this one as well. So very similar issues to the CR6SE. Hey, Stefan's in chat as well. Hey, Stefan, how are you doing? We should. By the way, Stefan, we should record another episode of the Melt Zone at some point. It's been a while. You know, now that entire drama on you know, the international playing field is over, we should get back together and talk some. Come on, talk some 3D printing. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Here. So, standard Z-axis frame, Z-axis gantry. You know, basically the same construction ever since the CR10 came out. Same frame that is pre-assembled on this one. So this is more similar to the CR6 SE that comes pre-assembled. The Ender 3 that we did 2 weeks ago was not pre-assembled at all. So there is a bit of assembly apparently to be done. The tool head, God, this box is too big. The tool head comes in a separate bag and still needs to be put onto the X-axis here. Looks like there are a couple plugs that need to be plugged in, and you get belts, zip ties, a silk PLA sample, okay, hex wrenches, few screws. I guess these are for the Z-axis SD card reader, a spare nozzle, and a setup manual. We're gonna follow that as best or as well as possible. All right, ANET is from the Czech Republic. No, this box, this printer, this specific printer shipped from the Czech Republic. If you actually check out the AliExpress listing in the description below, that's an affiliate link, you can choose where this ships from. So typically on AliExpress, if you order stuff, it ships from China, which means you have to deal with long shipping times, imports, customs fees, and all that. But they do have a logistics center in the Czech Republic. So they import it into the European Union. I guess they also ship from the US. And then they just ship it within the European Union to you, which is a lot easier than shipping it, you know, from China directly here. What are you? You're a bed sticker. Okay. Almost pre-assembled for this one. Yeah, I'd call this like the standard level of pre-assembly. So this is a, you know, your bed sticker. It looks like it might just be the imprint from this wrap on here. Let's zoom in here. This has a bit of a print on the edges, if you can see that. We get a glass bed, which ANET are actually touting as a feature versus just being an aluminum bed. And I don't see the glass bed as a feature because it's not flexible. First of all, it's a thermal resistance. It's a thermal barrier on top, and well, yes, it is flat. But I guess you can print directly onto the glass or onto the sticker or onto any covering you put on there. So there is a 3mm PCB as a heater unit. Show you that here. So the assembly is as follows. You get your heater PCB. Now, that doesn't quite, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I can show you at some point. That doesn't quite extend out to the edges, but with the aluminum, that should distribute the heat very nicely. And then you have the glass that just sits on top and gets clipped on with these little spring-loaded clips. Yeah, let's see if that's in the manual. If they, you know, remind you to actually adjust the tension on all the V wheels. Because as is, that's not that's not a good start. That's very, very loose. Okay, apparently there's a lock in there somewhere, which we will. Oh yeah, there's a cable. Interesting. But yeah, basic mechanical construction. Same as most other printers. You've got a 4x8 profile on the Y-axis that has a subframe, V wheels on that. You have, oh, that's interesting. This is open on the bottom. That's rare. Yeah, you've got a bit of an extra profile there, which is where it connects to the Z-axis. That's cool. Power supply in there. That looks like a generic LED power supply. There's a bit of loose tape, I guess, that came off at some point. I don't know. Warranty void. Wheels, well, I'll let you guys decide whether we open this up before we assemble it. And while you guys figure that out, let me dig into the manual. So yeah, price, Michael was asking, the price for the non-pro version of this, the ET4, is around 150, $160 US, depending on where and when you buy it. On Singles Day, which is November 11th, there are going to be a lot of deals on this. And most sites actually show you what the deals are going to be. So if you check AliExpress or any of the other shops, it's usually like put it into your shopping basket now and you'll get the discounted price on November 11th. Open, 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 open. Okay, we'll open that in a second. I gotta remember to breathe. Okay, parts list. We get the extrude, we get an M-turn spool rack. It's all there. Couple screws, 8 GB disc, a qualified certificate. That's, oh, okay. Thank you for purchasing and using ANET 3D printer. Well, ANET sent this one to me. Thank you for your support and trust for our products and us. All right, that's that. What is this? Warranty card. If you need that, setup manual. That's a folded A4 sheet of paper. So I'm hoping that the setup is going to be very quick. And then, ooh, that is fine print. That's the user manual. So same A4 folded sheet of paper. So there is no instructions for which slicer to use. We're going to get to, yeah, you could get more information in Guide of Slice Software in our official software and on the supplied flash drive. So maybe we should check that out once we've got that assembled. You guys want to see it opened? Let's get it open and see what it is. You're currently casting on a 65-inch TV and the whole family watching. Well, hi to Robert's family as well. Let's get this open. So this is not the... Where are you locked? This is not the official assembly instruction, obviously. Oh, you're not locked. You're just super tight. Let's get a better look inside. There is a warranty void sticker right there, which we will need to cut through. There we go. Warranty officially void. And I've got all the best tools here. Generic little hex keys. Wow, these are tight. ET4 Pro has a touchscreen and the sensor. Okay, so from what I've read, the sensor is actually something that's... There's a slot covering the Y-axis extrusion. That's probably what held the bed. Okay, I'll check that out in a second. From what I've read, both the ET4 and ET4 Pro have auto bed leveling, but now that I'm looking at it, yeah, the auto bed leveling sensor is just one of those little foam discs with the force sensitive resistor that you clip onto the tool head. And I'm not seeing that included from what I've seen in the online reviews. Oh, okay, so this one does have an capacitive, inductive, some sort of an industrial type sensor. From what I've seen in some of the reviews, the what was it? The Delta Pro that I've reviewed just had like the little foam disc with a sensor that he had to clip onto the nozzle before every print to do auto leveling. This one has, where is it there? Has the industrial style sensor built in. So I'm guessing that might be a difference. It is really hard to figure this out from the online materials on the website. It has auto bed leveling. Yes, it does. But remember, this is the Pro version. So this is around $200, $210, depending on where you buy it. The regular one is $150, $160, which might have different features. Does this have a normal end level switch too? We can look at that once we get to it. It does have, yeah, it does have the regular adjustable bed though. So it still has, maybe I can show you from this angle. Yeah, you can just barely make that out. It's still got the adjustment screws in the corners of the bed. So okay, so bottom cover is off. We get a Meanwell brand power supply. So this is the 24 volt 350 watt one. We get a mainboard with an STM32F407, so 32-bit board. There are some crude, let me show you, there are some crude drawings on what the components on the board do. Where you at? So industrial grade chipset. Yeah, where you at? Come on. If I could find it, maybe it's on the Pro? Yeah, the Pro had some wild graphics on what which parts did. Okay, I can't find it on the website anymore. Interesting. But yeah, they had like overcurrent protection labeled to the actual CPU. Yeah, wiring. How do you look? Is there a ground point? There is not. So this entire frame is not grounded, unless it is grounded through the power supply, which doesn't look like it. Otherwise, I guess from this angle we can get you a bit of a better look. There we go. There is the electronics. Mainboard. This is a ET4P mainboard. So this is a custom mainboard. Drivers on board, obviously hidden under a couple of heat sinks. That's an interesting component. That is a super cap. Right in the corner down here. So this is, I guess, what they're doing, the power failure, what's it called? The power fail mechanism software. Basically, when the power goes out, this keeps the board alive for a second and, allows it to save its state, I guess. I've not looked into how this works. So it's not constantly writing to the SD card like the Creality printers are. And it also doesn't need like super high precision detection of when the AC voltage drops out. Well, AC is up here. So it just keeps the board alive for a second. That is interesting. Yeah, what else? Power connectors. So this is the heated bed. That's the heated bed, that's power in. These are some fairly thin wires. I don't know, do they say what gauge they are? They do look very, very thin. Where are we at? 20 American wire gauge, two of them, from one connector to a connector here. Yeah, 20 seems a bit thin, but hey, we can maybe take a look with a thermal camera through the vent holes right next to it. What else are we seeing? Well, not a whole lot that I could discern right now. It does look, if we zoom out for the entire thing, it does look rather clean. Like I've seen printers that are wired way worse. The ground that just goes from the input to the power supply is kind of concerning, but otherwise, yeah, and of course whether these cables are up to par. That is something that time will tell. Actually, I think I can just leave this thing open. I'm not going to be reaching into the printer. I can just leave this open and we can take a peek maybe later on once it is printing. Is that an NXP chip? It's a chip that's labeled with ARM and with ST. Nope, that way. That is the chip in here. So it's an STM32F407. So pretty standard ST32 microcontroller. Cool. Oh yeah. Here, before I forget, let's do a bit of a satisfying peel. Oh, I installed some solar collectors with my dad last weekend, and those are like 2 meter wide by 1 meter tall panels, and they come with a protective film up top. You peel that off, it is so satisfying. I wanted to take a video, but I didn't have my phone with me on the roof. There we go. Tiny screen. This is 2.8 inches. We're going to see, what quality screen this is. Personally, I always prefer a good interface, and the screen size kind of like doesn't really matter to me, whether it's 2.8 or 4 point something inches. As long as it's logical and fast to use, this can work. Is it an AC heated bed? Nope. It is a regular 24 volt PCB heater. So I'm going to get this out of the way for now. Just dump it down here. Let's get to assembling. User manual, setup manual, that's what we want. Are the stepper drivers connected via UART? Considering they're 2208s, I can't really tell by looking at the PCB, right? So, ET4 Pro, that's the one we want. It has an auto filament dispenser. Step number 1, take the unicorn horn. If you can see that, we've got the, just to give you a peek at what the instructions look like. We take the unicorn horn, push it through the bottom plate and ignore the decal seal, colors may vary. But we also put the tool head on, I guess. I guess that can go on after the fact. So let's first get this installed. We use the 4 of the unicorn horns. I think that's these, yeah. Colors may vary, absolutely. So even though it looks like these, oh, that's not good. There's a piece of tape on the mating surface. Even though it looks like this is just screwing into the sheet metal frame, which, what printer is doing that? I think the Artillery X1 is doing that. There is actually an aluminum profile that this is being screwed through. Oh, and it stands on its own. That's nice. So there is actual structure underneath this. Where did my tools go? Let's just use the stock tools that are included. I don't want to bring out the Makita impact wrench yet. As always, this is the trickiest and worst part to watch. Because this is just... two holes from the bottom to line everything up. And you got to do it like hanging off of the table halfway. But once these are in, they should be locked in pretty well. Other way around? Am I? Nah. Nah. We're good. We're good. This is the exact way they should be assembled. Gibbous shows $283 plus 40 shipping. Check AliExpress. There is actually a listing on the official ANET store on AliExpress. And so far they do have, you know, some of the best prices on this very printer. Just put it on its side. Well, it doesn't lay down flat on its side because this has stuff sticking out on either end. So I you know, wouldn't really be able to line it up. Yeah, definitely check what the deals are going to be on November 11th. Like I said, most sites will show you what the exact prices will be on Singles Day, which is kind of like China's Black Friday. And of course, all the sites that are shipping from China or that have Chinese brands will offer some pretty good discounts on that day. Not all of the deals are actually good deals, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for it. No, it's right this way. Yo. And just a bit more. There you go. Done. Now this guy I think was taped, excuse me, I think this guy was taped down from the factory to somewhere, but that tape came loose. Oh yeah, I guess one thing I should mention now that I see it, this is a single, where are we at? There we at. A single Z-axis motor for this printer, so it doesn't have anything supporting the opposite side to the, so this is the front of the printer here. So on the left side there is the Z-axis motor, And yeah, the right side is unsupported, but it does have a pretty solid bracket that is holding everything up. So that bracket is basically supporting this entire beam, and it's also being, yeah, it's pretty well tensioned on the x-axis at least. I should grab a sip of my honeybush, lttstore.com. I don't know how much longer I can keep making that joke. But yeah, that's that. So I guess setup, let me get all this stuff out of the way. We're only going to need the user manual later. Setup, we've got the 4 screws in. 4 screws are in, and I'm guessing the tool head just slides on. It's supposed to G through the side. What did they use on the heated bed wire strain relief? I can show you. So on the heated bed wire strain relief, they just use basically a regular power cord, 20 gauge as well, and that's that. What is up with you? Oh, there. What the heck? Is that intentional? That can't. What? That can't be in. No way. Okay, I just realized why the bed is running so tight. They don't tell you to remove that. Oh God. Oh God, we're not off to a great start. Yeah, you might be able to spot it, but these wheels, you can see the wheel right in there. That's the V wheel. Actually, this one up front here, that's the actual V wheel that we care about. It's running on this rubber slot cover. Like they put this cover in here, and it's interfering with the wheels. You can, where is it? Yeah, just a second ago I was able to see where one of the wheels had made a dent in this. Why would they put a slot cover in this thing? Okay, that's a lot better. That is, but it's not in these. It is literally not in the instructions to remove this, unless I'm missing it. But why? Why? All right. Do we get to take off this protector? This thing, this foam protector thing. Also not in the instructions, but I'm gonna assume people will figure that out, right? That this should come off. On first step number 1, where? Oh, there it is. Okay. Decoration seal, color may various. You gotta pull it out. Okay. There's so many things in this one step, by the way. So you take your screws. Step number 1, you screw down the frame. You take out the strip. You what are you? Yeah, you screw through the profile and you assemble. That's like 4 steps in one. But okay, that's what I have you guys here for, right? You're helping me out. You're not trolling me, right? Not that I've ever been trolled during a live stream, but all right. There's that. There's the tool head on, and this is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. The bed though is. Oh, back here it's loose. Oh, here it's still loose. Okay. All right. So step number 1 should be done. We've got Gantry in place and tightened down. We've got the tool head on, and we have the deco seal. Is it deco or deco? More plastic having the Y rail? Nah. Oh, back here. Oh, in the back. It's another piece hidden in the back. Okay. Thanks for that. If this would maybe come out, that would be nice. There we go. Okay, I'm guessing that's where the wheel was sitting during transport, and that made quite the dent on this profile. That's actually what I was seeing, and I think it tore while trying to pull the first one out. Has eccentrics for adjustment. Yeah, if I'm gonna see if you're. Oh, you are actually. That's nice. You are actually supposed to adjust these. Where are you at? There. Adjust these. I'm guessing there might be more detailed instructions on the USB drive, which we can look at in a second, just to see how they are. What are you? What did it just take off? Tie wire harness tightly with the cable tie to prevent the port against poor contact caused by sloshing. Please check again if the port is stable after you complete the assembly of your printer. Okay. We will make sure that it's not sloshing. Camera doesn't go down far enough. Let me see. Step number 2. We use the belt. Kind of similar construction to every other printer, literally. We get the crimped ends on the GT2 2M 6mm belt. This is still that ANET belt. It feels very rubbery and springy instead of feeling like a dense, hard, tough neoprene. This is more like a bouncy rubber style. But anyways, we feed this through, and then on the bottom of this, yeah, I can see the slots right here. That's gonna be tricky to show. Stop moving it in transit. What, this one? Oh, I'll show you here. This one? Okay, so this goes through from here to there. Guessing this just clips in there, and that's gonna get pulled tight. Then we have an idler that we wrap it around. It goes under the wheels. Filament, yeah, I mean, yes, it's made in China, sure. Or is that a problem? Is that going to be a problem for you? Again, this is already at the right length. Maybe we should grab some pliers to get this in. There we go. That's in, and that's already pretty tight. Belt quality, well, it's really hard to tell what quality a belt is. But I mean, it feels okay. It does look like the belt is actually, how do I show this? Maybe if I lay it on its back. So like right there. So this run of belt in here, it looks like it's actually rubbing against the, or rolling, I guess sliding against the underside of this wheel. You can see it being pushed into the V slot by that wheel. So it's rubbing onto that wheel in the slot, which is not perfect. Okay, loosen stepper on the left. Now the belt is tight. Tighten. Tighten, okay, so I'm guessing that doesn't indicate the stepper. Just says tighten. The belt is tight. You can hear that is tight enough. So I'm not going to do anything with the motor. And what are you? You just basically where the belt is being clipped in. Breakout board, wiring time. So SC, BL, TMP, fan, EM, SM, XM, MAT, END, and LV. Okay. If you guys know what those abbreviations mean, feel free to help me out in chat, but I know maybe like half of them I could pinpoint, but the other half are kind of weird. But there is, yeah, that's this breakout board right there. Same abbreviations on there, and I'm guessing you just plug like this big. Yeah, there's a flat cable in there, so like the old IDE cables. Same connector actually, which is it's a good cable. It's one that's like it's decently suitable for moving connections. There we are. And that clips in here. It's just it's not guided anywhere. Okay, but that's all the connections made, right? Oh, and actually, yeah, these are not used. So you just get the motor. Where are you going? Oh, okay. That's all these that I have to plug in. Then these are labeled in the same way. So yeah, these have to go. Yeah, basically these just go straight into this connection right here. Okay, so now I should actually be careful with moving this because it is connected to the board. Yeah, I'm thinking about how to route this, but there's really only one way. Like filament guide or Bowden tube plugs in right there, and then all these plug in back here, right there. So end LV, where am I? There's end. Is that the right connector for that? Yeah, seems like it. Fan 1. We have fan. I'm guessing fan 1 is fan. Then, what are you? You're not labeled, but you're the only 3-pin, so you must go somewhere around here. I'm guessing that's the bed probe then. Then what are you? BL. There you go. And TMP, so that's the thermistor for the hot end. There you go. And that should be all the connections made. SZ. So I'm guessing that is the stop for Z-axis. That will get connected there. So I'm guessing there's like it must be something else that connects to that. Because if it's this is on the moving Z-axis. And typically you would see the Z-axis end stop mounted to the static frame. Okay, guessing all that's left is the connection right there. That is the Z-axis motor. I mean, mean that rat's nest. Oh, there is some crap in this connector actually. It's not. At least it's all proper plugs and stuff. What are you? You are packing material. So you go in there. Yeah, that's still gonna need to adjust it. Check ribbon cable. Ribbon is loose. Ribbon is loose where? Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that connector, it has those two noses, and this one up here is tight, but this one is still loose, so that still needs to plug in a bit further. There we go, thanks for that. There's two holes for zip ties, really helps tame the rat's nest. These two? Let me see, yeah, it would make sense to actually put a zip tie somewhere around here, because otherwise all the strain from movement is going to go right onto the connectors. These are locking connectors, so the connectors themselves should be fine, but obviously the crimp is a weak point where the cable itself is already weakened by that mechanical connection. Okay, Bowden tube is plugged in. What are you? Zip tie. Oh, okay. Okay, so from what I'm guessing, this picture right here, there we are, that means I should be zip tying the cable bundle to the Bowden tube. And I guess also here? It's kind of hard to make out. Like, yeah. So that's the Z-axis motor plugged in, and apparently like here and here I'm supposed to put a zip tie. Let's do that then. And I'm guessing that's the two included zip ties that they're doing. There. So Tuxmobile is suggesting the ribbon cable should actually be going through that hole right there. I don't know. Doesn't look like it. You can't really see it anywhere. There's no instructions to guide it through there, but realistically, that's the Z-axis. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. Let's zip tie this guy up and get it all bonded down. What are these? Oh, these are removable zip ties. Nice. Slosh winding? Tie the wire harness tightly with the cable tie, but that's these two. That's these two holes right there. Wait, where am I supposed to tie this? It says to tie it to the Bowden tube. Okay. So I'm going to slosh wind this through this hole, and then we should be good, I think. Okay. Should have grabbed some proper pliers and tools and stuff, but not much to assemble here. All right, I mean that's tight enough. Like there's zero strain on these connectors now. I'm not sure how that situation looks like on the tool head, where you do have it taped to the Bowden tube, but it just goes into this shroud with, I don't know, might be connectors in there as well or not. Maybe at some point we can have a look. I still have these two hammer nuts and screws. Okay, those are actually in the next step. Those are for the spool mount. Right, estimated time until printing. Please print the tank destroyer. I don't have a year for this unboxing. I do want to get this done at some point. So next step in the manual, just trying to keep track of things. Next step in the manual is actually tightening the eccentric nuts. not like the most detailed manual or anything, but I do appreciate that there is at least a mention of, hey, you should tighten these wheels. The question is though, if you had never assembled a 3D printer, would this be enough instructions to give you that idea of, hey, I maybe should tighten those eccentric spacers until everything is tight? Not sure. I'm not sure. But like I said, at least they do mention it. Where are we at? Okay, so this bed uses 2 eccentric nuts on the left side, and the rear one is tight, but the front one is not. Ooh, and these spacers are actually not locked down at all. Okay, better. I guess this one might fit. Yeah, so the wrench does fit onto the lock nut, and yeah, oh, well, that's actually tightening it down. Not the most high quality wrench, but it does the job. And that's tight. So Z-axis, because it's guided on 2 sides, that is naturally going to be a bit tighter than the other ones. This is technically over-constrained. X-axis, carriage, or tool head looks good as well. Turn them with no objective, yeah. Someone turning forever and ever, or just mistightening them, that is a possibility as well. So what do we do with the bed sticker? Spool mount, spool mount. I guess we could, yeah, I guess we could put that on while we have it. Just a fairly simple assembly. Where does it actually go? The top, okay, so top left, somewhere around here. Full video explaining everything. Yeah, well, maybe once this is done, we can check what's included on the instructions on the drive. Daniel is here as well. Hey, Daniel. Why are the Y rails always loose on these printers? I do not know. I think there's been a theory at some point that they ship them loose intentionally to prevent flat spots on the wheels, because when you keep them under tension for a long time and of course temperature cycle them during shipping, that might deform the wheels permanently, but I don't know, if you just tighten them properly, they're not going to be that flat. That shouldn't be causing an issue. Okay, so the filament guide, the filament should be towards the back then, I guess, because the filament sensor is towards the back as well. Okay, and that's the spool mount. So overall, assembly, pretty fast. Not the clearest of instructions, but I mean, if you've assembled like 24 printers before that, you know, that does help you. The frame is very rigid. Like there is very little slop, at least on the Z-axis. I guess that leaves it to us to plug this thing in, right? Anything else to do? I mean, we can read through the use instructions. The printer is of DIY collection. That's the very first note on the use instructions. Some parts need to be assembled by customers. We did that. Take good care of every connection part, and we suggest you to fix every connection with hot glue or silica gel. Do not print on unstable surfaces. Use only original power cord. Do not touch the nozzle. Wear gloves. Do not wear gloves. Okay. Not intended for, wow. Not intended for use by children under the age of 14 and by people above the age of 60. Well. Okay. That's the assembly done. Too short when the z-axis is at max. Well, that's gonna be long enough. We're not gonna move to z max. Yeah, bed sticker. Do we put the bed sticker on? Do we put this on or not? Or I guess we can print onto the glass directly, but bottom side fan is exhaust, not intake. All right, using a non-official power cord, AC 220 volts. So the meanwhile should be adaptable, right? We should be auto adapting with active PFC. Power is off. Plug it in. Okay. Do we have, you guys aren't seeing the LCD screen. And it looks like it is working. Is this screen working with this camera? Yes, it is. Oh, we get the Windows Vista style drop-down menu. English, Francais, that's Korean and that's right? That's Chinese. Okay. We stick, God damn it. English, okay. Print file, no print file. Okay. Print prepare setting. So print is what we just hit. Prepare. Level change filament. Load, unload, auto level. Oh, we can try the auto leveling. But we gotta see whether we need to like change an offset first, so we don't slam the nozzle into the bed surface. Manual, okay, that's manual move. Homing, motors on off, I guess. Info, ET4 Pro. Upgrade, so that's, I'm guessing that is firmware upgrade from the, what are you, USB drive? Yeah, micro SD card. So there's a micro SD slot on this side. Okay. It's capacitive sensor and will need some adjusting. Yeah, so what I'm noticing on this sensor is there is an adjustment screw up top here. So these are typically adjustable distance ones where you can adjust the trigger distance of the sensor itself instead of creating an offset or setting up an offset in the firmware. User manual. So we're done with the assembly manual. Let's see what they've got for the user manual. Printing process for first print. Plug in, turn on, home the printing head. So I'm guessing I'm going to find home in here. That is a very loud printer for being supposedly TMC drivers. Ooh. Ooh. Let me home again. I mean, that's blurry, but you can't, come on. Why so blurry? You guys can see what's going on there, right? That's like, also home always homes all. I thought I was going to be able to home just C, but okay, we're homed. Leveling. Leveling, load filament. So the question is, because this printer has auto bed leveling and it has manual bed leveling. Like what are you supposed to use? I mean, typically what I do is I just slam this bed down to the bottom and make this as rigid as possible, because anything that's going to be on these spring stilts essentially will be just, and this isn't going to do anything, is it? Because it's the sensor that's off. Typically I would just slam these down and just make it as rigid as possible, and then use the auto bed leveling. But like just adjusting these is like, it's not going to change the point where the sensor triggers. Regular printing process, attach power, turn on. Okay, after assembling the machine, let's read through this together. What you're actually supposed to be doing here. Leveling preparation. After assembling the machine, tighten the vertical rods on left by hand under the printer power off. Horizontally observe the distance between the build plate and nozzle, making sure there's a small gap between the, okay. Paper leveling, but we've got leveling, paper leveling. This is all for paper leveling. This isn't for... This sensor is literally triggering way too late. Select the leveling point of 1. Okay. Adjust the sensor. Yeah. Let me see what they actually want you to do. There's the USB drive. Reset the level. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So your English instructions and your, I guess, Chinese instructions then. Cat, dog, pig. Please read the installation instructions when you've finished. Extra modifications. Please be cautious about modifications. Manufacturer not responsible. Okay. Oh, there is software, which we will check out in a second. Cura and Repetir host. So that is literally just the same instructions we just had. Auto leveling. Okay, that's more than
for your efforts.
That's more than what I'm. At least it's. Oh no, it's the print layout. Okay. Auto leveling, offset value. Well, So this is basically where the manual just leaves you and is like, okay, it's your turn now. All right. I mean, obviously I know what to do. I know to adjust this thing, but I'm always trying to do these assemblies from the perspective of a user who just bought a 3D printer and maybe isn't familiar with how these inductive or industrial style sensors work, and that you can adjust them, and is like, well, that's crashing into the bed. Thanks for the 5, Martin Schipper. Appreciate it. Okay, I guess we just deviate from the plan or deviate from the instructions and do what feels right. So the way I would adjust this is basically, right now the nozzle is, yeah, it's just sitting on the bed. It is barely, or just barely touching the glass. You can actually maybe hear it, yeah, contact the glass. So this is touching the bed right there. What I would do is I would adjust the sensor until it triggers at this position, and then we can create an offset in the firmware that, you know, takes that trigger point and then moves the nozzle down a bit further. Because as long as this is triggering at a lower point than where the nozzle is actually touching down, it's always going to slam the nozzle into the bed. So there should be an LED, there is an LED in here, so let's just keep adjusting this until something happens. Just heard a click. Okay, that direction isn't doing anything. There we go. So now this is lit up. So this is a trim pot that's probably 10 turns or something. It's interesting because this is like glued in there with epoxy or something. This doesn't look like a typical sensor. So that triggers right there. Then I'm going to give it one more turn to make sure it triggers at that position. Does it have auto bed leveling? Yes, it should. It should. So if we do home again, oh, now this is permanently triggered. Okay, so I'm guessing that's really sensitive then. Maybe there? I don't know if you're supposed to just like set your Z offset with that trim pot. Because that is, ooh, that is super sensitive. So just a, wow, that's like 5 millimeters off. Just like a quarter turn is like 5 millimeters on that. So with the capacitive sensor for auto bed leveling, not sure how repeatable and reliable that's going to be. I've tested a couple of sensors like 2 or 3 years ago, and the capacitive one was, as far as I remember, the worst one for repeatability and reliability when it comes to temperature deviation, moisture in the air, etc. So I do expect this to require adjustments for maybe every, you know, possibly every single print. Okay, where do we go? Prepare level. So is that, okay, so that's an offset that we can adjust. Is that adjusting in real time? Yes, it is. So I can feel the Z-axis actually moving in real time as I lower this, and I can basically lower this until we touch the nozzle, or we touch the glass with the nozzle. Try leveling with the sticker. Well, it's not going to change anything really. Okay, so that's grabbing it. Okay, so 2.65 millimeters offset. Okay. It's homing again. And theoretically, now we should. Okay, and it's slowly moving the nozzle to the Z0 position. Okay, I'm hoping we can adjust this offset during a print or during the first layer. All right, bed sticker may trigger the preset ABO probe. Nah. So with a capacitive sensor, it really kind of doesn't matter what the material is, glass, plastic, especially plastic on glass, shouldn't make that much of a difference. Not like slamming the nozzle into the bed versus not slamming it down. Let's see what we do for software now. So there are print files, STL of your printer parts. Are these? Okay, yeah, there are a few 3D printed parts on this. So the fan duct, for example, is a 3D printed part on this. So they are including those STLs, PNGs. Okay, so that's a Cura preview. Software. What do we get? Slice and print connections. Cura could be used for printing. Cura could be used for printing through USB, but the compatibility is bad. Reputation supports slicing, but not much settings as Cura. How to print settings, print settings, scripts, start code, end code. So recommend use Cura as slicing software. So what are they including as Cura? 14.07. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the 14 does refer to 2014, right? Well, guess we're not going to be using the recommended software. Okay, since we're going off script anyways, let's just go with Prusa Slicer. And let's create a quick new. Actually, are you guys interested in seeing me while I do this? I can turn on like the ACAM. Where we at? Configuration wizard. Can we do custom printer? Yes, we want a custom printer profile. We're going to do ET5. No, that's an ET4 Pro. Reps printer. That should be. I mean, what are you even running? Just stick with printer. Not that it makes much of a difference for the stuff that we're going to do. 220, origin is at 0, 0, model none, nozzle diameter 0.4, filament diameter is correct, extrusion temp 200. Let's do like 65 on the bed, and 210, nope. 210 on the hot end. That should be good. So ET4 Pro, done, configured. Maybe let's do a bit less layer height. First layer is fine. And actually, since well, what do we use for start and end G code? It had the instructions here. Home, travel speed, well, that's Cura specific, absolute positioning, extruder. That's your standard start NG code. Like there's nothing special in this start NG code, so we're just going to use that. But for some reason, can I maybe select this entire? There we go. For some reason, the Prusa Slicer defaults do not turn off the heated bed. So you gotta insert the M140 S0, so it actually turns off the bed once it's done printing. And I think that should actually be okay for printing. Do we need to turn on cooling? Yeah, let's do keep always on. Disable for the first like 2 layers. Slow down if below 15. That should be okay. Print settings, and we are going to print a vase because I do like vases just for doing test prints like that. Vase is complete really fast, and you guys get to see a lot of progress in a really short time. And as we saw in the Creality unboxings, you know, vase mode sometimes uncovers some hidden issues of the firmware. Where's my vase? Where's my vase at? This touchpad's got. Why? Is that a? Oh, I gotta go. Repetier host messed up everything. Okay, maybe scale you down a bit. Maybe scale you to, I don't know, we're not going to do 2 hours. Let's do 50%. It's a rather small print, but we can appreciate the details then. 49 minutes, that should be okay. Export to the card, abstract vase 1. Eject the card. Cool. There's our card. What are you? You are a memory card, HC, class 10, supposedly. XCT, so that's the, if you're interested, that is the memory card that's included. It's a memory card, class 10, 8 gigs. And you go in upside down. Where are you? All right. Let's see if we can print this, or if we abstract vase. Okay, so it doesn't show a folder structure. Well, so this is in the top level folder. Not sure if it would show the entire folder structure or if it just throws everything into one list. But yeah. Okay. So motor's just enabled. What are you doing? Why are you not heating? Did it load filament? Yeah, I mean, I guess I should load filament, but it's not. If it does or is able to, M115 response and initial line sent on 0 connection, please. Okay, Gina, I will report that as soon as possible. But it looks like it's not happy with the G-code we gave it. So it enabled the motors. The motors are locked, but it's not heating. It's not actually doing anything. And it's failing to cancel the build. Okay. Let's try a different G-code flavor, maybe? I don't know. Oh, cool. I bumped my laptop into this table, and now it's turned off. Power button's on the side. Fantastic! All right, just for anyone wondering if this is live, yes, this is live. Laptop's even called HP Live. Let me see what the G-code's saying that would throw it off. Oh God, I don't even have Notepad++ installed on this. Let's see if Notepad can handle this. Oh yeah, that's good. Does not like M107. It's like the rest is literally just your very standard basic G-code. Let's just get rid of the M107. What is M107 anyways? G28, home all axes, G1F, yeah, that, I mean, this is like the bare minimum for anything G-code related. Can you like, let me eject this, please? 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 Yes. Fan off, fan off, fan off. Fan off shouldn't do anything. Oh, it's got a nice intro graphic. Abstract vase. Zoom out. 21 degrees, 20 degrees, it's not heating. Is it? Nah. This is completely cold. what am I missing? Can I? Okay, so I can raise these. Let's see. That should be the hot end. And it is actually heating. Can I? Okay, so you switch that over, and then you can heat the heated bed. But I mean, I keep saying this, but I prefer click wheels over touchscreens because of that exact reason. So I'm just trying to filament sensor. Oh, you guys are saying that's the filament sensor. I'm astounded by the clear and concise error message on the printer. If it is actually the filament sensor. That's right. I mean, we can see if there's no filament in here because I forgot. But where's my error message? I want to know what's going on. Let's try das Filament transition. What are you called? Multicolor Polarlicht. Okay. Filament sensor. Can we stop you now? Still can't. Like it's still stuck. By the way, there is smoke and noise from the tool head, and you guys saw that smoke puff, right? Okay, so we should have some filament in there. Oh, more smoke. Looks like I found a new pope. That is, oh God, that is more temperature than 210. That is way more than 210. Nope, still not doing anything. So we now have filament loaded, and it's still got temperature from before, but it's not doing anything. Saw smoke 30 minutes ago? Yeah, so the smoke you were seeing was before I even put filament in it. G28 at the start. Okay, we can try that. We can try that. I mean, backup plan is I can print the pre-sliced. Well, I would have to move those to the top directory then, I guess. How does this fit into that reader? I could try the pre-sliced G-codes that are included on the SD card. I'm thinking those are G-codes, but I'm not gonna finish a 3-hour print today. So, okay. Let's just get rid of all this and just do G28 at the very start. Like it should at least do that, right? If it can't do a G28, like there's a serious problem somewhere. Go to filament and load filament. Okay, let's try this again. I mean, it's weird when there's literally no error message, no, we don't want to continue. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Like it's not homing. Like let me show you again what's happening. So, turn this off. Give it a second for everything to discharge. We say no to continue printing, we say print, we select the file, we say OK. That's all it does. Might not have been the most in focus, but that's all it does. So maybe an error in the file at around 18. No, it's not going to read the entire file. Michael, I'm not going to print that design you're asking for. I don't have. I answered you before. I don't have 3 weeks to get this live stream done. Let's try prepare, change, and actually load filament. Like if that's what it takes, if you actually need to use the menu to load filament once. So okay, there it jumps to 215. So it's set to 30 centimeters. Where to load? Is it the stop button? Okay, I'm gonna let it heat for a second. I'm gonna mute the mic because I'm gonna have some more tea. Oh, I unmuted too early. Read the chat. Yeah, what? Front face M503. Crashes processing it there. I mean, there shouldn't really be. What is there in this G code? It's just there's nothing at 18% that's different. So let's see. We should be preheated enough. So if I do 1 centimeter, so the filament's already in the hot end, it's already oozing out. If I do a 1 centimeter load, I guess the stop button then? Nope. How do I? Oh, you press the load. You press load again. So, okay, it looks like it switches from load to unload, but that's actually a button you press. So looks like it's loading and it's extruding. So let's jump back to print and get rid of this extruded filament in here. Nope, same as before. Try type load a second time until it. So I mean, at that point, it really is stuck. Like it's saying pausing, stopping. It's not letting me out of this screen. I actually have to physically turn it off. Slicer G code don't work with ANET. There is nothing special about this G code. What happens if you say yes? Oh, now we get a temperature set. But it's at 18%. You guys seeing this? Okay, something just skipped. But I physically turned off the printer, which triggered the power fault detection. I said, yes, continue print, and now it looks like it's printing maybe? So it's at 32% now. Might be waiting for the hot end to reach temp because it's at 217 out of 215 degrees, and then the bet, but it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? I don't know what the G code does. I don't know what this is doing. doesn't look like it's doing what we're expecting. Okay, then let's try one of the pre-sliced G codes. So let's see. So these are Windows Explorer default settings.
I really want to buy the Creality CR6 SE, but I'm afraid to burn my house down.
Get the pig. CR6 SE, I don't know if they fixed the issues that printer had. It did have some stuff that was not all that great. Mine's been working fine so far, but yeah. What type of firmware does this printer use? That is a great question. So the official, where are we at? There. The official statement from, yes. So this is on the official ANET forum. This is one of the links they sent me beforehand. We're like, hey, this is, check out these links for more info. So download open source firmware of ET4. You can download the open source firmware for research and reference, not for commercial use. And ANET are not taking any responsibility if you do not use the stable version, which is not open source firmware. So I'm guessing they're not running Marlin, Sprinter, any of those flavors on it, but they're completely own taste, or otherwise they would need to, well, release the source code of the firmware. They're saying this is a non-open source firmware, so I'm guessing it is something proprietary. Which generally isn't a good thing, because the Marlin firmware is, it's seen years of development and multiple different printers it was optimized and tested on, and figured out all the quirks those machines might have. And if they really don't use Marlin, which they're saying they don't because they're not open sourcing it, then I don't see how this can be a better firmware than mainline Marlin. So supposedly the stable version is not open source firmware. And if you, no after sales, okay. So you have to register to download the open source firmware if you want to do that. There are firmware update instructions for ET4, ET4 Plus, ET4 Pro, linking to a video by HL, who are you? HL Modtech. Mind blown, Marlin 2 with ST-Link on ANET ET4, and that is a completely different interface. Like that is a completely different touchscreen UI that you're seeing there. Effort to try and adapt the ANET ET4 motherboard and display for use with Marlin. So I'm taking it this does not run Marlin. These are the instructions to actually flash it. It looks kind of non-trivial if you need. What are you routing? Oh, that's reverse engineered, I guess. But yeah, not Marlin. We've got the files copied. So let's just see if doc 2.5h will work. Or if it will even show up. Nope, print doc 2.5. Oh, it's a touchscreen where you don't touch the things. You actually have to scroll through the list to select things, because like that makes sense. Doc 2.5. It's the exact same thing. It's 89 degrees, 0. It's not heating. It's not doing anything. It's just doing a quick little move on the tool head, and that is it. That's it. I don't know what else to look at. Oh, it's doing something. Hold on, it just moved. Just moved the y-axis and skipped a step somewhere. But it's not heating. Moved to 2%. This was at 0 earlier, and now we're at 2. Yeah, this ain't working. This ain't working. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Moving slowly, I don't think it's moving at all. I can try to format the SD card, or I can try to use a different SD card if I find one. You don't have one, you have one. Straight out of the Ender 3v2, the NetAC card. I'm going to copy over the sample G-code. That's my best attempt, my best chance at getting this working. So I'm going to copy the sample G-code off of, I'm going to do dog, copy the sample G-code off of this card onto the known good card from Creality, the one straight out of the Ender 3. It's interesting that I also have cat and dog. Is this very similar example G codes actually? So that's what Ender 3 are or Creality are including for the Ender 3. They're including dog 3.5 or cat 3.5 hours, dog 2 hours, and ANET are including dog 2.5 hours and cat also 3.5 hours. Interesting that they're so close with the sample files. So SD card from the Ender 3v2 that I know works and is not showing up with issues or anything. Let me see, so the 2.5 hour one was the one we want. Dog 2.5 hours. So it's scrolling through progress. 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Where yet? Okay, it is doing something. What are you doing? Is it copying it over into a temporary buffer or something? Unload it past the run-on sensor, put it back, make sure you... Print finished! Okay. Look at that. Great success. Absolutely. That print is 100% finished and 100% done. And I'm done here as well because that's, I mean, I don't want to get demonetized here, but like you guys can imagine what I'm thinking right now. Like how do you deliver something like that where it's not even printing out of the box, where the sample G code doesn't work? All right, that is the classic ANET experience. I'm going to have to see what ANET say about this and if they have any input on why this printer isn't working. I'm guessing they're just going to ship me another one. Like that sort of stuff shouldn't happen. It should not happen. Reslice, I did try a freshly sliced file. Same issue. Somebody's wanted to know the color of the filament. So this is, well, the filament that the ANET is printing is the ANET Special Ghost White. This is Das Filament Multicolor Polarlicht, which is very nice filament. Yeah, I'm done. Like I said, I'm done. There's nothing else I can do here. I've tried a freshly sliced file. I've tried a different SD card. I've tried the sample G code. That's it. That's all I can do. Thank you all for looking for my end stream button here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the suggestions and for trying to work this out. But this is clearly not working. Yeah, did I? Yeah, I think I didn't say thank you to Robert for the 10 Swedish crowns, 50 Swedish crowns. So thank you for that. Thanks for everyone who joined in, and I'm done. Goodbye. Have a great day.